So, I've been wondering why I haven't done any videos lately, and between finding time to do it and finding stuff to show, I just haven't. But now we've had some rains this week, so I'm going to show you here that little by little things are starting to turn green. So there's our little doggy called Dash, and there's succulents. I got a wood stove in the makings here as soon as I finish it, if I ever finish it. But Dash is on a, see, there he goes. Hey buddy. He's on a wheel on a cable, stretched from down there all the way up to the corner of the garage. So as humanely as possible to have him tied up, but yet functional to let me know if anybody's up by the driveway. But as you can see, with the rains came a slight hue of green. Everything is sprouting up nicely. So no more dry summer this year. Everything's sprouting out and starting to turn green for the winter. I got rid of the tent that I had here. As you can see, all the pieces are still there, but it collapsed. There's Skittles, our big oaf of a cat. And so little by little I've been cleaning up the yard, but there's lots of work to be done. That's where the pool used to be. Then I had the tent with the shade spot to do stuff in the summertime. All my garden beds are kind of neglected, but this one has all the brand new onions and garlic in it. And the chickens have been getting out of the chicken coop and picking at my collards. Couves, as we say in Portuguese. But this is the onions and the garlic that I planted 2 weeks ago. And with the rain, oh boy, did they ever come up. So they're up and off we go. This is where I had the broad beans planted last year. And while it's time to plant them, I don't know, I thought I'd put the onions and garlic here this year. I have not yet cleaned up the raised bed, so it's in desperate need. There's some tomato plants that survived so far. There's some more that I didn't have the heart to get rid of after the summer scorched everything, but you can see all my pots are all stacked up here waiting to figure out what I'm going to do with them. This bed had all my peppers going. That was my shade tarp that I had over it. That didn't work. Deer came and ate it, but the deer didn't eat, the chicken ate. So I haven't messed with that bed yet either. There's our pomegranate tree. Is missing all its leaves for the winter already. Here's where we had a bunch of squash going. We grew some pretty nice sized pumpkins. Been working on getting this bed ready. I might put my broad beans or fava beans here. So what I'm doing is I developed a little side here, which I'm going to build this up with all the dirt in those pots that aren't worth growing anything in. So I'm going to build that up a little bit so it's a little more level, because we're on a hillside here and it tends to just wash downhill. So I started to dump out some pots there, as you can tell. And I had experimented with mixing some of this red dirt we have here along with some perlite. That's what the little white speckles are, is perlite, to help hold moisture. Perlite is comparable to what's in babies' diapers to help hold when they're overflowing, if you know what I mean. But it didn't work out in pots. The dirt got too stiff, clay-like. So I'm going to dump it out here along with some of the chicken manure and wood shavings from when we were incubating, and stir that in there. And not sure yet if we're going to put more onions and garlic or if we're going to do some fava beans there. After all, I might dig up that squash bed, which Bermuda grass is taking over. You can see the circle here where the bricks is the end of the bed here. So I got to dig all that up and clean it up and get rid of all that Bermuda grass and sift it out as much as possible. Then I make that bed and that one into fava beans. But a lot of work to do. So you can see how things are starting to turn green for the winter. Our citruses, our fig has gone dormant for the winter. Never got any figs this year. Last year we got 8 or 10 of them, enough to taste it. And I put some pallets here to try and discourage the deer from jumping over. That didn't work. For the chickens here, I had 2 pens. This one got to be too much of a muddy mess, so I got everybody condensed into this one now. So we got a few chickens going there. That rooster we hatched from eggs in the incubator. Beautiful rooster. And so this morning I went and harvested a bunch of cactus fruit. Nopales, or prickly pear, as we call them in English. I don't know what you call them in Portuguese, but the chickens love them. So every day I harvest some from the patch we have going down here around the corner. The wind took and blew all my panels that provide shade and shelter from rain and wet. Shade in the summer, shelter from rain in the winter. But the wind blew it all down the hill, and I threw them back up here, but have not secured them yet. I need to come in here and do some work. It's been a little too muddy. Today's the first day without rain this week. Well, we wanted rain very much, but it didn't happen. This one is called Augie. He's half Border Collie and half Aussie, or Australian Collie. But he's also on a wheel. I have some weights here to keep the wheel standing. But he's on a wheel that goes up here 100 feet up to the next tree it's tied to up there, so he can run up and down. And all I got to do is throw a stick or something, and he'll take off like crazy chasing it. Like this. Here, Augie, go get it, go get it. See, so on that wheel, he can run up and down the hill and feel like he's as free as can be. There's the cactus patch that I've been harvesting cactus fruit from, and I discovered that the turkeys like that. If I dice up the, see if I zoom in here a little bit, you can see all the fruit on there. I can take the leaf and dice it up into little bite size for the turkeys. They absolutely love it. So I'm going to take apart all of these pallets that I have here. I'm only going to leave the first 2 pins. Everything else was just too much. You can see where I threw some leaf in there to chop up for the turkeys. And we're experimenting with these turkeys to see what happens. But here we go. Here's one of the big turkeys. They're called Red Bourbon. The rooster that's in there, we hatched him from a chick also. He's a beautiful rooster. And then over here is the other big turkey. He's got 2 hens. And this rooster was hatched from an egg in the incubator also. Turkey's over there strutting his stuff, trying to look all fancy-fied. But anyway, so I have netting on here to keep them from jumping out. And that's their home. A little bit of shelter going there. As you can see, we have a little sunshine going on here. All week was cloudy and miserable. And green grass sprouting out everywhere. So we have neighbors all around, just we have elbow room between the neighbors. But anyway, that's what's going on today. I haven't done much around here lately, so everything is waiting. This is bucket loads of chicken scratchings and manure from the pens that I pulled out and gathered in the buckets to put in the compost. And this pen is where I had the turkeys in here, but they weren't getting along with each other. So you can see the rain washed all the poop and goop down, but I had some nests going here under the lid so we could just reach under and take it. And the chickens are all following me around wherever I go. They're curious. This was a big 8x8x8 shed that I chopped in half and laid it down here. And I put these lids so I can open the lid and have some nests in here for the chickens to do their thing. That's all waiting to get cleaned out. I haven't had time. And on this one here is the same. If I raise the lid like that, I can Go in here and see if there's no eggs there. And looky there, got 3 eggs in there. So we'll take those out. Nice big brown eggs. It's every day we're getting about, an average, I think we're up to about 18 or 20 eggs a day right now from those hens. I'll just stick them here in this bucket. Take them up later. But that's a little bit of what we've been doing. I haven't been posting any videos lately. You can see the cactuses. They really look pretty in that sunshine. There's all the ripe fruit up top. I have not learned to appreciate them yet. They're still work in progress for me to learn that. But anyways, there's another area that we had some development here over the summer. I've been dumping all my compostings over here. I think I showed in a previous video how I dump my compostings in that barrel, and then I use the hand truck here that I put wheels on to spin the barrel. But right now I just have everything in this big thing sitting here decomposing, and I have piles of stuff going here from the decomposing that needs to go in the barrel and get spinned. But you can see here I have some tubing going here for some sprinkling, and we grew a bunch of butternut squash. This is just a tiny one. You can see from the size of my hand it didn't develop very much, but some of them got longer than from the tips of my fingers to my elbow out here, and they just kind of came up out here. We didn't plant them, they just grew. I got a lot of mess to clean up. I've not done it. So I have here, the tubing comes out of my water line and spreads out there. And then I have, at each place where the squash is growing, I have a little bubbler going so that I can just turn the faucet on over here. I turn that knob on there, the pressure regulator, so they don't get too much water on them, and then I have the tubing goes out there. So what's left out there still at this point, we have some gourds going still. I have not harvested them. I think I'll just let them dry out here. They didn't grow very big. Cabaça, as we call it in Brazil. There's my hand, but they're nice. They're starting to dry out. But you can see each little spot where I had the sprinklers going for the squashes, and everything is just sprouting out from the rain. There's where, if I want to have separate a rooster or something out, then I have a different little pen here that I can put them in. But there's a view of, that's what our view is out here from our deck up there. There's our house, and there's a deck up there that we can hang out and watch the sunrise from there. At this point it's the sunset going down, but we have a vaulted ceiling with a chimney and just a lot of work to be done. I got the cat following me around out here. Good old Skittles. Good old Skittles. He's always following me around, chewing on some grass out here right now. But I hadn't posted anything in a while, so I thought I would do a little something, show you what's going on and how neglected everything's been. I've got works in progress of everything happening, and just never seem to finish anything. Work a little bit at it, then I gotta go do something else or go back to work, or different things that need to be done. This raised bed, when I did it, I should have put a proper bottom and a plywood bottom. I didn't, so the dirt's all washing through. So the next project here is going to be to take everything out, put a piece of plywood across the bottom so I can refill it with dirt, maybe have some plants for springtime. Meanwhile, it's the garlic and the onion. And if I can figure out what to put on those covies, I'm not sure what bugs are eating them, the collards. There's some bugs eating them or chickens eating them, but a lot of work to do. Work, work, work. No time. Anyway, that's a little bit of what's going on for me. And hope everything's going well for you. Leave some comment down below. Let us know what you think or any positive suggestions you may have. Always open to hear some more. All right, so there it is. Beautiful fall day with a little bit of sunshine this morning. Skies are blue, and I hope to hear from you. Everybody, have a good day.